Hey y'all, Austin here with our World Media. Welcome back to another book review, guys. This is one for this series I've talked about numerous times. I've interviewed the author, and I told y'all that I was going to try and upload these book reviews in order and whatnot. And I realized, you know what, I'm gonna go back and reread these books. So let's just get these ones that I freshly have on my mind, get a review out there, give y'all some content to watch just because, sorry guys, my allergies are acting up. But it's been a little while since I've had a video or two up. So I figured, you know what, let's get on here and get this knocked out, guys. So we are talking about Longmire, guys. We're talking Mr. Craig Johnson. We are talking, obviously, Next to Last Stand, book number 16 in the Longmire series. I think I have, what is it, 6 or 7 books left of this series at this point to be caught up and be completely ready for the next new release. Obviously, we just had one not that long ago, a month or two back. So I'm gonna try and have these knocked out by the end of the year. That is the goal. But kind of getting into it, book, like I said, this is book 16. So you would think by now he's probably kind of repeating himself, rehashing things. There's nothing, you know, how do I say this? Nothing new in the well. There's nothing left in the well, I guess, is the best way to put it. He's run the well dry. There's nothing left in there. No, no. He's got some stuff left in the well, guys. So kind of setting this up. What is Next to Last Stand about? So this is about a gentleman that Walt knows who is in a military vet retirement place, essentially. He is essentially he passes away, and so upon this, Walt somehow comes across the famous Last Battle, Custard Last Stand painting, and questions arise. Is the painting still there? Is the painting still, you know, in existence, or did it burn away, or did it get disappear? What does that have to do with $1 million that a vet has? Why does a vet have $1 million? And again, that's kind of setting up the story. What if, how, kind of is the question. This is kind of uh, obviously it's a murder mystery, if you will, but it's also, kind of a treasure hunting in a way, or treasure figure out, I guess, is the best way to put it. Sorry, guys, it's a little late here. I had to wait for my daughter to go to sleep to do this. But again, we get the same characters in this that we love. We get Walt, we get Vic, we get Henry. We get there's new characters we're introduced to this, and I don't want to give them away. We see Lolo in this. We see Lolo's nephew. We see quite a few reoccurring characters. And another thing that I want to talk about this, because my buddies Kevin and Jay over at Faceless, they read the first Longmire book. Was it Cold Fish or something like that, I think. Sorry, guys, again, it's late. And, understandably, they had a couple little issues with it. They both seem to really enjoy it. I know Dustin has read a decent amount of these, and I know he talked about continuing on with this series at some point. What I want to say about this series, again, because I really am, I'm finished 16 out of the however 22 books are in the series, whatever it is. Mr. Johnson, Mr. Johnson has a way of writing his characters. You get comfortable with them. You return to this town that he sets up. You don't, I don't want to say you get complacent. Sorry, guys, I'm put the book up there. I don't want to say you get complacent, but you get so familiar and just so comfortable with all these characters that, again, it's like putting on a warm jacket or warm sweater, what have you. It's just comfortable. It's like during, fall or winter, it's raining outside. Put on a movie that you're familiar with and whatnot. And in this series, I've come to learn it really is the small little things that Mr. Johnson changes here and there that really makes this series, kind of keep going along. Yeah, Walt's detective work, he's kind of got the same way about, going about for his detective work. He happens to know, you know, odd tidbits and stuff that you would think nobody would really know. Um, But again, just the small things that he does in this town to change, or stuff around Walt that he changes, you know. In this book, I don't think I'm spoiling anything. In this book, obviously we had quite a bit of stuff happen in the last couple books, and so that's still affecting Walt in this, and he's still recovering, and everybody else around him is still not sure how to kind of act around Walt, or what to do, or how to handle things. And so we see a little bit of a strain between Walt and his daughter, and whatnot, and how he's handling all this. And again, it's just the way that Mr. Johnson goes about creating this, how it would be, and what I honestly think would be like a real life situation as far as that goes. And it just keeps things fresh. You never know what's going to happen in this town. You never know who might leave, who might come back, who might die, who might get sick. Again, it's small stuff like that that I really, really love about this series. That I'm starting, again, 16 books in the series, to realize that, you know what, this is definitely, again, a series that I'm going to go back and reread because I love it so much. Mr. Johnson takes us all around, Absaroka County, other counties, out of state. Again, I really do love this series, and I don't think I can preach enough on this series how much that I love it, how awesome it is. I told my wife the other day, actually, that I want to go to the Longmire days. I think it's in Wyoming and whatnot, that I want to take a family vacation there just so I can go, experience that and whatnot. Because again, guys, this is a series that I really have come to love and enjoy, and cherish every moment of it, to be honest with you guys. And I know I'm getting a little um, wishy here talking about the series, but again, I absolutely love it. It has become one of, if not my favorite series or ongoing series of all time at this point. It really is, guys. And again, 16 books in, I can say honestly, he keeps things fresh. He changes stuff up, even if it's the small stuff. It makes a huge deal and has a huge impact in the series and how it goes on and whatnot. So again, guys, I highly recommend, especially if, like I said, if you're any of my friends that have read this, if you're Dustin, if you're Jay, if you're Kevin, keep reading the series. I promise it gets better. If you're somebody who has picked up the series and was like, you know what, the first couple books, the series gets better as it goes on. I feel like after book 14 or 15, this is kind of a new trajectory. We're going to see, I'm hoping to see things a little bit different here and how things play out. So, like I said, just stick with me, and I promise I'm going to get caught up in the series and get to the end of it. And I'm going to keep reviewing these books. I think once I finish the series, I just might go back and reread book one and go forward all the way up again and review those ones for you guys. So I have a very fresh perspective on it to give you guys the best reviews that I can. I also want to say again, sorry that I'm not, my usual self as far as doing these reviews. I'm still getting a little bit back in the swing of things. But again, just stick with me, guys, and I promise I'll get back to that. But again, guys, Walt Longmire, Mr. Craig Johnson, Next to Last Stand. This book also has me wanting to learn more about the battle, the Last Stand for Custer, and how that played out and everything. It's very interesting to see Henry's perspective on this. I'm not going to lie. He's not in this as much as I would like, but he's in this just enough that he's got a couple comments that make me laugh, guys, as Henry tends to do. But again, guys, Next to Last Stand, book number 16 in the Longmire mystery series. Highly recommend. Again, guys, keep reading the series. Pick the series up if you haven't. It really is a good one. But as always, guys, y'all have a good one, and I'll see you next time.